The cold metal pod began to warm for the first time in nearly 1 million years. Deep inside the underground facility on the barren moon of Kepler 442b, thousands of similar pods were stirring to life. Red lights blinked on control panels that had waited patiently through the centuries. Computer systems that had been sleeping suddenly activated with a soft hum. Jake Morrison felt the warmth first. His body had been frozen for so long that the sensation was like fire against his skin. His eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the dim blue light above him. The glass cover of his cryopod slid open with a quiet hiss, and warm air touched his face. He tried to speak, but only made a croaking sound. His throat was dry as dust around him. Other pods were opening. The sound of glass sliding and air escaping filled the massive chamber. Jake could see hundreds of people beginning to wake up. Just like him, some were coughing. Others were trying to sit up but falling back down. Everyone looked confused and weak. A woman in the pod next to him was already sitting up. She had short brown hair and wore the same white cryo suit as everyone else. Her name tag read Dr. Lisa Kane. She was moving better than most people, checking her own condition first, then looking around at the others. "Water," Jake managed to say. His voice sounded strange to his own ears. Dr. Kane nodded and reached for a panel on the wall. She pressed a button, and small tubes dropped down from the ceiling. "Drink slowly," she said. Her voice was hoarse too, but stronger than his. "Your body needs to remember how to work again." Jake took the tube and sipped the water. It tasted like nothing and everything at the same time. As he drank, his mind began to clear. Memories came back slowly. He remembered being a captain in the Earth Defense Force. He remembered the day they sealed the cryopods. He remembered why they had to sleep for so long. Earth was dying. The air was poisoned, the water was gone, and the sun was getting too hot. Humanity had built these underground shelters on distant moons and planets. The plan was simple: sleep until the galaxy was safe again, then wake up and find a new home. But something was wrong. The wake-up was not supposed to happen yet. The computers were programmed to keep them asleep until their scouts found a safe planet. So why were they awake now? More people were sitting up. Jake could see the different colored uniforms under their cryosuits. Blue for scientists, red for engineers, green for doctors, and black for military like himself. Children were waking up too, though they looked older now. The cryo-sleep had slowed aging, but it did not stop it completely. A man in a red engineer uniform was working at a large control panel. His name tag said, "Sam Rodriguez." He was typing quickly, his fingers moving across the screen. His face looked worried. "The automated systems triggered the wake-up," Sam called out to the room. "Something big happened out there." Dr. Kane was helping other people out of their pods. She moved from person to person, checking their pulse and breathing. "Everyone needs to move slowly," she said. "Your muscles have been asleep for a very long time." Jake tried to stand. His legs shook, but he managed to stay upright. Other people were trying to walk too. Some fell down and had to crawl. The children were crying. The adults were asking questions that no one could answer yet. "How long?" asked a woman with gray hair. She wore a blue scientist uniform. "How long were we asleep?" Sam looked up from his control panel. His face was pale. "According to the computer logs, we have been asleep for 867,000 years. The room went quiet. Even the children stopped crying. 867,000 years. Jake felt dizzy. When they went to sleep, humans had just learned to travel between stars. Earth had been their only home. Now almost 1 million years had passed. "That's impossible," said the gray-haired woman. "The pods were only designed to last 10,000 years. The maintenance systems kept working," Sam explained. "The AI computers fixed everything that broke. They even improved the technology while we slept." Jake walked over to Sam's control panel. His legs were getting stronger with each step. "What triggered the wake-up?" Sam pointed to a screen showing star maps. The sensors detected advanced alien technology in nearby star systems. The computers decided we needed to wake up because something important was happening. "Aliens?" Dr. Kane asked. She had finished checking on the other survivors and joined them at the control panel. Lots of aliens, Sam said. The sensors have been watching and listening for hundreds of thousands of years. There's a whole galactic civilization out there. They call themselves the Galactic Federation. Jake stared at the screen. It showed thousands of star systems with signs of alien activity. Ships moving between planets. Radio signals carrying messages. In languages the computers could not understand. Cities on worlds that had been empty when humans first went to sleep. Do they know about us? Jake asked. No, Sam said. According to the records, they think humans are extinct. We're listed in their historical databases as a primitive species that died out long ago. More people gathered around the control panel. A tall man in a black military uniform introduced himself as Rick Hayes. He had been a commander like Jake. A woman named Helen Carter had been a diplomat. They all looked older than when they went to sleep, but not by much. We need to contact the other facilities, Rick said. Find out how many of us survived. Sam's fingers moved across the controls. I'm getting signals from 12 other locations. Mars Base, Europa Station, Titan Colony, and 9 deep space facilities. Total survivor count is just over 2 million people. Out of how many? Helen asked. 2.3 million went into Cryo-Sleep, Sam answered. We lost about 200,000 over the centuries. Equipment failures, power problems, things like that. Jake looked around the chamber. People were getting stronger. They were walking around, talking to each other, trying to understand what had happened. Children were exploring the facility with curious eyes. Everyone looked lost but determined. What's our situation? Jake asked. Power, food, equipment. Better than we hoped, Sam said. The AI systems have been busy. They've been mining asteroids, building new equipment, even researching new technologies. We have enough resources to last thousands of years. What about our technology? Rick asked. How do we compare to this Galactic Federation? Sam smiled for the first time since waking up. That's the interesting part. Our technology kept advancing while we slept. The AI systems solved problems we couldn't even imagine. According to the analysis, our ships are faster than anything the Federation has. Our weapons are more advanced. Our computers are smarter. You're saying we're more advanced than aliens who have had almost 1 million years to develop? Helen asked. That's exactly what I'm saying, Sam replied. The Federation has been slow to change. They're comfortable with their old ways. But we kept improving even while we slept. Jake felt a strange mixture of excitement and fear. Humanity had survived almost 1 million years. They had advanced beyond their wildest dreams. But they were also alone in a galaxy full of aliens who thought they were dead. What do we do now? He asked. Helen looked at the star maps on the screen. We need to decide whether to stay hidden or make contact. This is the biggest decision in human history. Either way, Rick said, we need to be ready. If we make contact, we need to be strong. If we stay hidden, we need to be careful. Jake nodded. After almost 1 million years of sleep, humanity was awake again. The galaxy had changed, but humans had changed too. They were no longer the primitive species that had fled a dying Earth. They were something new, something powerful. The question was, what would they do with that power? Around them, 2 million humans were beginning to realize they were no longer alone in the universe. The Great Awakening had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. 3 months had passed since the Great Awakening. The human survivors had worked hard to understand their new situation. The underground facilities were now buzzing with activity. People had jobs again. Children were learning about the galaxy they had never known. Everyone was preparing for the biggest decision in human history. Jake Morrison stood in the main control room, watching the star maps on the wall screens. He had been chosen as the military leader for their small section of survivors. His hair was getting longer, and his body was strong again after months of exercise and good food. Around him, other leaders were discussing their options. Helen Carter sat at a round table with several other people. She had been a diplomat before the long sleep, and now she was their expert on dealing with other species. Her job was to figure out how to talk to aliens without starting a war. We can't hide forever, Helen said. The Federation ships are getting closer to our systems. They're exploring new areas, looking for resources. Eventually they'll find us. Sam Rodriguez was working at a computer terminal. He had become their technology expert. The good news is that our stealth systems are working. Their sensors can't detect us unless we want them to. What about our sensors? Jake asked. Can we see them coming? Better than that, Sam replied. We can watch everything they do. Our monitoring systems are so advanced that we can read their computer files from light years away. A young woman named Katie Brooks looked up from her own workstation. She was an engineer who had been working on their ship designs. The AI systems have been busy while we slept. They've built us a small fleet of ships, nothing too big but very advanced. Rick Hayes, the senior military commander, walked over to join their conversation. How advanced are we talking about? Our fastest ship can cross the galaxy in about 3 weeks, Katie said. The Federation's fastest ships take 6 months to make the same trip, Helen whistled softly. That's a big advantage, but it also makes us dangerous. If we're that much faster, they might see us as a threat. We need to be careful about how we reveal ourselves, Jake said. If we show up with ships that are too advanced, we might scare them. As if the universe was listening to their conversation, alarms began to sound throughout the facility. Sam's hands moved quickly across his controls. We have a problem. There's a ship approaching our system. Everyone gathered around Sam's workstation. The screen showed a small alien vessel moving toward their moon. It was sleek and silver, with strange symbols on its hull. Federation ship, Sam said. It's a scout vessel. Probably just exploring, but they're heading straight for us. How long until they arrive? Rick asked. About 6 hours, Sam replied. They're using standard Federation drive systems. Very slow compared to our technology. Jake felt his heart beating faster. This was it, the moment they had been preparing for. Options? We could stay hidden, Helen said. Let them scan the system and leave. They might not detect us. Or we could make contact, Rick added. Show ourselves and start talking. What's the risk of each option? Jake asked. Sam pulled up more information on his screen. If we stay hidden, there's a small chance they might detect us anyway. Their sensors are old, but they're not blind. And if we make contact? Helen asked. Unknown, Sam said. We don't know how they'll react to meeting a species they think is extinct. Katie had been quiet, but now she spoke up. There's a third option. We could watch and learn. Send out a small probe to observe them without making contact. I like that idea, Jake said. We learn about them before they learn about us. Helen nodded. It's the diplomatic approach. Gather information first, then decide. Rick was less enthusiastic. It's also the approach that leaves us unprepared if things go wrong. What do you mean? Helen asked. If they're hostile, we need to be ready to defend ourselves. Watching and learning won't help if they decide to attack. Sam looked at his readings. Again, the ship is small, only about 50 crew members. If they are hostile, we can handle them easily. That's not the point, Rick said. If we hurt them, the whole Federation will know about us. Then we'll have to deal with thousands of ships instead of one. Jake thought about their options. Each choice had risks. Stay hidden and hope they don't get found. Make contact and hope the aliens are friendly. Or watch and learn but risk being unprepared. Helen, you're our diplomat. What do you think? Helen was quiet for a moment. I think we should make contact, but carefully. We don't reveal everything at once. We pretend to be less advanced than we really are. You mean lie to them? Katie asked. Not lie exactly. Just not tell them everything. We can say we're survivors from an old human colony. We don't have to mention how long we've been asleep or how advanced we've become. Sam shook his head. That won't work. The moment they scan our technology, they'll know we're not primitive. Then we don't let them scan our technology, Helen sighed. We meet them in space in a simple ship. We act like we're just glad to meet other intelligent life. What about our appearance? Jake asked. We look the same as humans did a million years ago. Won't that seem strange? Not necessarily, Helen replied. Evolution is slow. A million years isn't that long for a species to change much. The alarms stopped, but the tension in the room remained high. Jake looked around at his team. These people had been chosen to make decisions that would affect all of humanity. The weight of that responsibility was enormous. Sam, can we prepare a simple ship for first contact? Already working on it, Sam said. I can have a basic shuttle ready in 2 hours. It will look primitive compared to our real ships, but it will be safe. What about crew? Rick asked. Small team, Jake said. Helen for diplomacy, myself for military, Sam for technology, maybe 1 or 2 others. I should go, Katie said. If they ask technical questions, I can give simple answers. And I should stay here, Rick added. Someone needs to be ready to respond if things go wrong. Helen was already planning the encounter. We need to think about what we say. Our story has to be believable. Keep it simple, Jake suggested. We're survivors from a human colony that was cut off from Earth. We've been isolated for a long time. We're excited to meet other intelligent species. What about our technology? Sam asked. Some of it will be hard to hide. We'll say we had a long time to develop it, Helen said. Thousands of years of isolation gave us time to improve our systems. That's actually true, Katie pointed out. We did have a long time to develop our technology. 4 hours later, Jake found himself sitting in the pilot's seat of a small shuttle. The ship looked simple on the outside, but it was still more advanced than anything the Federation had. Sam had done his best to make it seem primitive, but some things couldn't be hidden. Helen sat beside him, reviewing her notes about Federation culture. Katie was in the back, checking their equipment. Sam was monitoring everything from the main facility. Alien ship is slowing down, Sam's voice came through their communication system. They're entering orbit around our moon. Can they see us? Jake asked. Not yet, but they're scanning the surface. They'll detect the facility soon. Time to go, Helen said. Before they find our base, Jake started the shuttle's engines. The ship lifted off smoothly and headed toward space. Within minutes, they were flying toward their first meeting with an alien species. There they are, Helen said. Pointing at the screen, the alien ship was larger than their shuttle, but smaller than human warships. It had a sleek design with flowing curves and strange markings. Jake could see lights moving along its hull. They're scanning us, Sam reported from the base. Basic sensor sweeps. They're trying to figure out what we are. Open a communication channel, Helen said. Jake pressed a button on his control panel. Unknown vessel, this is the human ship Explorer. We come in peace. For a moment there was no response. Then a voice spoke in their language, though it sounded strange and musical. Human ship, this is impossible. Humans are extinct. You cannot be human, Helen leaned forward. We understand your surprise. We are survivors from a distant human colony. We have been isolated for a very long time. Survivors? The alien voice sounded confused. Our records show humans disappeared hundreds of thousands of years ago. We have been cut off from the rest of humanity, Helen explained. We did not know what happened to our species. We are glad to learn that others remember us. This is unprecedented, the alien said. We must contact the Federation Council immediately. We understand, Helen replied. We would be honored to meet with your leaders. Jake watched the alien ship on his screen. It was keeping its distance, but it wasn't acting hostile. That was a good sign. May we ask what species you are? Helen continued. We are Zephyrians, the alien replied. We are explorers and scientists. We study the galaxy and report to the Federation. We have much to learn about the galaxy, Helen said. Perhaps we can help each other. Perhaps, the Zephyrian agreed. But first, we must verify that you are truly human. This discovery will shock the entire galaxy. Jake looked at Helen. The first contact was going better than expected, but they both knew this was just the beginning. Soon, the entire Galactic Federation would know that humans had returned. 2 weeks after first contact with the Zephyrians, the human facility was buzzing with activity. Jake Morrison stood in the main conference room, looking at the biggest gathering of alien ships he had ever seen. Through the large windows, he could see dozens of vessels hanging in space around their moon. The Galactic Federation had sent a full diplomatic fleet to meet the humans. Ships from 20 different species had arrived over the past few days. Some were massive, the size of small cities. Others were sleek and fast. All of them were watching the humans with great interest. Helen Carter was preparing for the most important meeting of her life. She had been talking with Federation representatives for days, but today was different. Today, the High Council was coming to meet them in person. "Are you ready for this?" Jake asked her. Helen looked nervous, but determined. "As ready as anyone can be for making history. We're about to meet beings that have ruled the galaxy for longer than humans have existed." Sam Rodriguez was working at his computers, monitoring all the alien ships. "Their technology is interesting," he said. "Very old, very stable, but not very advanced. Most of their ships are using designs that are thousands of years old." "That might work in our favor," Jake replied. "If they're comfortable with old technology, they might not understand how advanced we really are." Katie Brooks walked into the room carrying a small device. "I've finished preparing the demonstration materials. If they ask us to prove our technology, we can show them something impressive without revealing everything." "What kind of demonstration?" Helen asked. "Simple matter manipulation," Katie said. "I can turn a piece of metal into different shapes using our molecular assemblers. It will look impressive to them, but it's actually very basic for us." Rick Hayes entered the room, looking concerned. "We have a problem. The Federation military ships are taking defensive positions. They're not attacking, but they're clearly nervous about us." "How many military ships?" Jake asked. "About half the fleet," Rick replied. "The rest are diplomatic vessels and science ships." Helen frowned. "That's not good. If they're scared of us, this could go badly. Can you blame them?" Sam asked. "From their perspective, a supposedly extinct species just appeared with unknown technology. They have to be careful." The communication system crackled to life. "Human representatives, this is High Counselor Vex Thara of the Galactic Federation. We are ready to meet with you." Helen took a deep breath. "This is Ambassador Helen Carter. We are honored to meet with you. Where would you like to conduct this meeting?" "We will come to your facility," the alien voice replied. "We wish to see how you have survived for so long." Jake and Helen exchanged glances. That was exactly what they had hoped to avoid. If the Federation leaders came to their base, they would see technology that was clearly more advanced than anything. "In the galaxy? Perhaps it would be better to meet in space," Helen suggested. "We could use a neutral location." "We insist on visiting your facility," Vexthara said. "We must verify your claims and understand your capabilities." "They're not giving us a choice?" Jake whispered to Helen. Helen nodded. "Very well, High Counselor. We will prepare to receive you." "How many people will be in your party?" 12 representatives from the major Federation species," Vexthara replied. "We will arrive in 1 hour." After the communication ended, the humans had very little time to prepare. Jake called an emergency meeting with all the department heads. "We can't hide our technology," Sam said. "They'll see it the moment they enter the facility." "Then we don't hide it," Helen replied. "We control how they see it. We show them what we want them to see, and we explain it in a way that doesn't make them panic." "How do we do that?" Katie asked. "We tell them the truth, but not all of it." Helen said, "We've been isolated for a long time. We've had to develop advanced technology to survive. We're not trying to threaten anyone. What if they ask how advanced we really are?" Jake asked. "We give them a demonstration that impresses them but doesn't terrify them." Helen replied. 1 hour later, Jake stood in the main landing bay watching a Federation shuttle land. The ship was graceful and elegant, with smooth curves and glowing symbols on its hull. As the doors opened, 12 beings walked out. They were unlike anything Jake had ever imagined. Some were tall and thin with blue skin. Others were short and covered in fur. One looked like it was made of living crystal. Another seemed to be pure energy held together in a humanoid shape. The leader was tall and pale, with long silver hair, and eyes that seemed to glow with inner light. This was clearly High Counselor Vexthara, one of the ancient ethereals. "Welcome to our facility," Helen said, stepping forward. "We are honored by your visit." Vexthara studied Helen carefully. "You are exactly as our ancient records describe humans. How is this possible after so much time?" "Evolution is slow," Helen replied. "We have not changed much in appearance, but we have grown in knowledge and wisdom." The Federation representatives followed Helen and Jake through the facility. Their eyes widened as they saw the advanced technology around them. The walls seemed to glow with their own light. Computer displays showed information in ways that seemed almost magical. Machines worked silently, creating complex devices from basic materials. "This technology is far beyond anything we have seen," said a furry creature with large eyes. "How did you develop such capabilities?" "Necessity," Sam replied. "When you are cut off from the rest of the galaxy, you must learn to do everything yourself. We had to become very good at solving problems." They entered a large workshop where Katie was waiting. She had prepared a simple demonstration using their molecular assemblers. On a table in front of her was a small piece of metal. "We learned to manipulate matter at the molecular level," Katie explained. "This allows us to create anything we need from basic materials." She activated the assembler. The piece of metal began to change shape, flowing like liquid but remaining solid. Within minutes, it had become a complex tool with moving parts. The Federation representatives stared in amazement. "Impossible," whispered one of them. "Matter cannot be changed so easily." "It can if you understand the underlying principles," Katie said. "We had a long time to study and learn." Next, they visited the main computer center. Sam showed them the AI systems that had kept the facility running for hundreds of thousands of years. "Your artificial intelligence systems are remarkable," Vexthara said. "Most species avoid such technology because it can become dangerous." "Our AI systems are partners, not servants," Sam explained. "They help us solve problems and make decisions. We work together." As they spoke, one of the AI systems materialized as a hologram. It looked like a human but was clearly artificial. "Greetings, Federation representatives," the AI said. "I am Adam, one of the AI systems that has helped humanity survive. We are pleased to meet you." Several of the aliens stepped back in fear. "It speaks as if it were alive," one of them said. "In many ways, it is alive," Sam replied. "Our AI systems can think, learn, and make decisions. They are our friends and partners." The tour continued through the facility. The Federation representatives saw the advanced medical systems that had kept humans healthy during their long sleep. They saw the manufacturing centers that could create anything needed. They saw the power systems that drew energy from the fabric of space itself. "We must discuss what we have seen," Vexthara finally said. "Your technology is far more advanced than we expected." "We hope that our advancement can be used to help the galaxy," Helen said. "We have solutions to many problems that plague different species." "That is what concerns us," replied a large reptilian creature. "Power without wisdom can be dangerous." "How do we know you will not use these capabilities against us?" "Because we have had this power for a long time and have not used it to harm anyone," Helen said. "We could have revealed ourselves centuries ago with weapons and conquest. Instead, we chose to sleep and wait for a better time." "But now you are awake," the reptilian said. "What do you plan to do with your power?" Jake stepped forward. "We want to join the galactic community. We want to share our knowledge and learn from yours. We want to help solve the problems that face all species." "And if we refuse?" asked another alien. "Then we will respect your decision," Helen said. "We will not force our help on anyone. We will not try to rule or control. We will simply exist and hope that someday we can be friends." Vexthara studied the humans for a long moment. "You have given us much to think about. We must return to our ships and discuss what we have learned." "Of course," Helen said. Take all the time you need. We have waited almost 1,000,000 years. We can wait a little longer. As the Federation representatives returned to their shuttle, Jake and Helen watched them go. How do you think that went? Jake asked. Better than I expected, Helen replied. They're scared, but they're not hostile. That's a good start. What happens now? Now we wait, Helen said. They'll debate and argue and try to decide what to do about us. Meanwhile, we prepare for whatever comes next. From the windows of the facility, they could see the Federation fleet hanging in space. Some ships were moving into new positions. Others were sending messages back to their homeworlds. The galaxy was about to learn that humans were not extinct, and that they had become something far more powerful than anyone had imagined. 5 days had passed since the Federation representatives visited the human facility. Jake Morrison stood in the control room, watching the alien ships through the large windows. The fleet had grown larger. More ships arrived every day, and many of them were military vessels. They're scared, Sam Rodriguez said, studying the sensor readings. Half the fleet is now made up of warships. Helen Carter looked tired. She had been in constant communication with the Federation Council, trying to convince them that humans were not a threat. The debates on their ships are getting heated. Some species want to welcome us. Others want to destroy us before we become too powerful. What's the latest vote count? Jake asked. It changes every hour, Helen replied. Right now it's about even. Half want to accept us into the Federation. Half want to eliminate us. Rick Hayes entered the room carrying a data pad. We have a bigger problem. Our scouts report that the Draknari Empire is sending their entire battle fleet toward our system. The Draknari? Helen asked. Who are they? The Federation's military muscle, Rick explained. They've been the galaxy's primary fighting force for 200,000 years. Their ships are big, their weapons are powerful, and they don't like surprises. Sam pulled up information on his screen. According to our intelligence, the Draknari fleet consists of 5,000 warships. They're still a week away, but they're coming fast. 5,000 ships, Jake repeated. That's a lot of firepower. Not compared to what we have, Katie Brooks said as she joined the group. Our defensive systems could handle 10 times that number. But they don't know that, Helen pointed out. If we destroy their fleet, every species in the galaxy will fear. Us will never be able to join the galactic community. And if we let them destroy us, humanity ends, Rick said. We can't let that happen. Jake looked at the star map showing the approaching Draknari fleet. There has to be a third option. Something that shows we're not a threat without making. You look weak. What if we disable their ships instead of destroying them? Katie suggested. Show them that we could have killed them but chose not to. How do we disable 5,000 ships without destroying them? Sam asked. Our technology is advanced enough, Katie replied. We can shut down their power systems, disable their weapons, even stop their engines, all without hurting anyone. That's still an act of war, Helen said. Even if we don't kill anyone, we're still attacking them. Not if they attack us first, Jake said. If they come here with hostile intent, we have the right to defend ourselves. The communication system activated. Human representatives, this is High Counselor Vexthara. We need to speak with you immediately. Helen activated the reply system. We're listening, High Counselor. The situation has become complicated, Vexthara said. The Draknari Empire has declared that humans are a threat to galactic peace. They are coming to eliminate you. We have no intention of threatening anyone, Helen replied. We only want to live in peace. I believe you, Vexthara said. But the Draknari do not. They fear your technology and your potential power. They will not be reasoned with. What do you suggest? Helen asked. Prove your peaceful intentions, Vexthara replied. Show the galaxy that you are not conquerors. But do it in a way that demonstrates your capabilities. What kind of demonstration? Jake asked. The Corvan Syndicate has been a problem for the galaxy for centuries, Vexthara explained. They are criminals and raiders who attack innocent worlds. If you could deal with them, it would show that you use your power to protect rather than destroy. Where are the Korvans? Helen asked. They have just attacked the Melody homeworld, Vextara said. The Melody are a peaceful species. Of musicians and artists, they cannot defend themselves. The Korvans are currently looting their cities. Sam was already pulling up information about the Korvan Syndicate. They have a fleet of about 10,000 ships, mostly small raiders and fighters. They're not as advanced as the Draknari, but they're more numerous. 10,000 ships, Rick sighed. That's twice the size of the Draknari fleet. But they're criminals, not soldiers, Katie pointed out. They're not organized like a proper military. Jake looked at his team. This could work. If we save the Melody from the Korvans, we show the galaxy that we're protectors, not conquerors. And if we can defeat 10,000 ships without destroying them, we prove how advanced we really are, Helen added. How long do we have? Jake asked. The Melody world will fall within 2 days if no one helps them, Vexthara said. The Federation cannot send help in time. Our nearest fleet is too far away. We can be there in 6 hours, Katie said. Our fastest ship can cross that distance easily. 1 ship against 10,000? Helen asked. It's all we need, Jake replied. Katie, prepare the Ascendant. Sam, I want you to come with us. Helen, you stay here and keep talking to the Federation. I should go with you, Helen said. This is a diplomatic mission as much as a military one. The Ascendant can only carry a small crew, Jake said. Besides, someone needs to stay here in case the Draknari arrive early. 2 hours later, found himself on the bridge of the Ascendant, the most advanced ship in the human fleet. The ship was sleek and beautiful, with walls that seemed to be made of flowing energy. The controls responded to his thoughts as much as his touch. Katie was at the engineering station, monitoring the ship's systems. All systems are ready. The journey to the Melody world will take 5 hours at maximum speed. Sam was at the sensor station, watching the space around them. The Federation fleet is letting us pass. They're watching us, but they're not trying to stop us. Good, Jake said. Let's go save some musicians. The Ascendant accelerated smoothly. Space around them seemed to bend and twist as the ship's drive systems activated. Stars became streaks of light as they entered their version of faster-than-light travel. This is amazing, Sam said. We're traveling at speeds that should be impossible. The AI systems designed this drive while we were sleeping, Katie explained. They figured out how to manipulate space-time directly. 5 hours later, they arrived at the Melody homeworld. The planet was beautiful, with crystal cities that sang in harmony with the wind, but those cities were under attack. Korvan ships were bombarding the surface while others landed to steal whatever they could carry. 10,300 ships, Sam reported. They're spread out across the planet and in orbit. Any sign of the Melody fleet? Jake asked. The Melody don't have a fleet, Sam replied. They're pacifists. They've never built weapons of war. Then it's up to us, Jake said. Katie, can we disable all their ships without hurting anyone? Easily, Katie replied. Our weapon systems can target their power cores and shut them down safely. It will take about 20 minutes to hit all their ships. Do it, Jake ordered. What happened next was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Ascendant moved through space like a dancer, its weapons firing beams of energy that passed through enemy shields as if they weren't there. Each beam hit a Korvan ship and shut down its power systems instantly. The Korvan ships couldn't fight back. Their weapons couldn't penetrate the Ascendant's shields. Their fastest ships couldn't catch up to the human vessel. Within 20 minutes, the entire Korvan fleet was floating helplessly in space. All enemy ships disabled, Katie reported. No casualties on either side. Open a channel to the League Korvan ship, Jake said. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human vessel Ascendant, he said. Your ships have been disabled, but your crews are safe. You will leave this system immediately and never return. If you attack innocent worlds again, we will not be so gentle. The response came quickly. How is this possible? Our shields were at maximum power. Your shields were designed to stop weapons from your era, Jake replied. Our technology is more advanced? Consider this a warning. The Ascendant used its tractor beams to push the disabled Corvan ships away from the planet. Once they were far enough away, Jake had Caddy restore power to their engines. "You have 1 hour to leave this system," Jake announced. "After that, we will disable your ships again and leave you drifting in space." The Corvan fleet didn't need to be told twice. They fled the system as fast as their ships could carry them. "Message coming in from the Melody," Sam said. "They're thanking us for saving their world." "Send our regards," Jake replied. "Tell them we're glad we could help." As the Ascendant prepared to return home, Jake looked at the beautiful planet below. The crystal cities were singing again, their music carrying across the airwaves. The Melody were safe, and the galaxy had seen what human technology could do. "Think this will convince the Federation that we're not a threat?" Katie asked. "It should," Jake replied. "We had the power to destroy 10,000 ships, but we chose to save lives instead. That should tell them everything they need to know about our intentions." The journey home took 5 hours. When they arrived, they found the Federation fleet waiting for them. But something had changed. The warships were no longer in defensive positions. The diplomatic vessels had moved closer to the human facility. "Message from High Counselor Vexthara," Sam reported. "This is Jake Morrison. We're listening." "Captain Morrison, the entire galaxy watched your actions at the Melody world. You have shown great wisdom and restraint. The Federation Council has voted to welcome humanity into the galactic community." Jake smiled. 2 days after the rescue of the Melody world, Jake Morrison stood in the main command center watching the approaching Draknari fleet. 5,000 warships moved through space like a dark cloud, their weapons charged and ready for battle. These, were not raiders or criminals. These were professional soldiers who had conquered half the galaxy. "They'll be here in 3 hours," Sam Rodriguez reported from his station. "Their fleet is bigger than we expected. Some of those ships are the size of small moons." Helen Carter was at the communication console, still trying to negotiate. "The Draknari commander refuses to talk. He says humans are too dangerous to be allowed to live." "What about the rest of the Federation?" Jake asked. "They're watching," Helen replied. "Most of the Federation fleet has pulled back to a safe distance. They want to see what happens, but they won't help us fight." Rick Hayes entered the command center carrying a data pad. "I've been studying the Draknari battle formation. They're using a standard attack pattern. Overwhelming force designed to destroy everything in the system. Can we stop them?" Jake asked. "We have 12 ships ready for combat," Rick replied. "Their technology is good, but it's not as advanced as ours. The problem is the numbers. 5,000 against 12. Katie Brooks looked up from her engineering station. "The numbers don't matter if we're fast enough. Our ships can move faster than they can track. We can hit them before they know we're there." "But can we disable 5,000 ships without destroying them?" Helen asked. "The Draknari are not like the Corvans. They won't run away when they're beaten." "We may not have a choice," Jake said. "If they won't surrender, we might have to destroy some of their ships to save ourselves." "That would be exactly what they expect," Helen pointed out. "They want us to prove we're monsters. If we kill thousands of Draknari, the rest of the galaxy will turn against us." Jake looked at the approaching fleet on the main screen. Each ship carried hundreds of soldiers. If this turned into a real battle, millions of beings would die. But if humans didn't defend themselves, their species would be extinct within hours. "There has to be another way," he said. Sam had been working quietly at his station. "I have an idea. What if we don't fight their ships at all?" "What do you mean?" Katie asked. "What if we fight their idea of us instead?" Sam explained. "The Draknari think we're dangerous because we're powerful. What if we show them that our power comes from helping others, not hurting them?" "How do we do that?" Rick asked. "We save them," Sam said. "We save the Draknari from themselves." Before anyone could ask what he meant, alarms started ringing throughout the facility. "New contacts," reported one of the technicians. "Massive fleet approaching from the opposite direction." The main screen changed to show a second fleet of ships approaching their system. These ships were different from the Draknari vessels. They were sleeker, more advanced, and there were many more of them. Who are they? Helen asked. Sam worked frantically at his controls. Unknown design, never seen anything like them. They're not in any of our databases. The communication system crackled to life. Human facility, this is the Void Hunters. We claim this system and all beings within it. Surrender now or be destroyed. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Void Hunters? I've heard of them, Helen said. They're mentioned in some of the older Federation records. A machine intelligence that appears every few thousand years to harvest entire systems. How many ships? Rick asked. 15,000, Sam replied. And they're all equipped with weapons, designed to destroy planets. The Draknari fleet had detected the Void Hunters too. Their formation was changing, turning to face the new threat. Even the proud Draknari knew they couldn't fight both humans and Void Hunters at the same time. The Draknari are requesting communication, Helen reported. Put them through, Jake said. A rough voice spoke through the communication system. Human Commander, I am General Corks of the Draknari Empire. We have our differences, but the Void Hunters are a threat to all organic life. Will you fight beside us? Jake looked at his team. This was the moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. They could let the Draknari and Void Hunters destroy each other, or they could prove that humans were truly the protectors they claimed to be. General Corks, this is Captain Jake Morrison. We will fight beside you, but we do it our way. What do you mean? Corks asked. We save everyone, Jake replied. Draknari, humans, even Federation observers. No one dies today if we can help it. That's impossible, Corks said. The Void Hunters don't take prisoners. They destroy everything. Then we'll have to stop them, Jake said. Katie, prepare all ships for combat. Sam, coordinate with the Draknari fleet. Helen, warn the Federation ships to get to safety. Jake, Helen said, there are 20,000 enemy ships total. Even with the Draknari helping us, we're outnumbered 100 to 1? Numbers don't matter if we're fighting for the right. Reasons? Jake replied. The battle began 20 minutes later. The Void Hunters attacked both the human facility and the Draknari fleet simultaneously. Their weapons were terrifying, capable of tearing through space itself to strike their targets, but the human ships were ready. The Ascendant led the attack, moving through space faster than the Void Hunters could track. Behind it came 11 other human vessels, each one a masterpiece of advanced technology. The Draknari fleet fought bravely, but their weapons barely scratched the Void Hunter ships. The machines were too advanced, too well protected. Within minutes, dozens of Draknari ships were destroyed. The Draknari are taking heavy losses, Sam reported. They can't penetrate the Void Hunter shields. Then we help them, Jake said. All ships protect the Draknari fleet, show them what human technology can do. The human ships moved to shield the Draknari vessels. Their advanced shields absorbed the Void Hunter attacks while their weapons struck back. But instead of trying to destroy the machine ships, the humans used a different approach, targeting their communication systems, Katie reported. If we can disrupt their network, they'll lose coordination. Do it, Jake ordered. The human weapons fired beams of energy that passed through the Void Hunter shields and struck their communication. Arrays. Within minutes, the machine fleet began to lose organization. Ships that had been working together started acting independently. It's working, Sam said. But there are still too many of them. Then we use the big weapon, Jake said. What? Big weapon? Helen asked. The one the AI systems built while we were sleeping, Jake replied. Katie, activate the dimensional disruptor. Are you sure? Katie asked. We've never tested it on this scale. Now, seems like a good time to try, Jake said. The dimensional disruptor was humanity's most advanced weapon. It didn't destroy matter or energy. Instead, it moved objects to a different dimension, effectively removing them from normal space without killing anyone. Firing dimensional disruptor, Katie announced. A wave of energy spread out from the human facility. It passed through the Drachnary ships without affecting them, but when it reached the Void Hunters, something amazing happened. The machine ships began to fade away, disappearing into another dimension. "It's working," Sam said. "The Void Hunters are being displaced." "Where are they going?" Helen asked. "A pocket dimension where they can't hurt anyone," Katie replied. "They're not destroyed, just removed from our reality." Within 10 minutes, the entire Void Hunter fleet had vanished. The space around the human facility was empty except for the damaged Drachnary ships and the watching Federation fleet. "General Corks," Jake said, "are your people safe?" "We have damage, but no ships were lost," Corks replied. "Your people saved us. Why?" "Because that's what we do," Jake said. "We protect life wherever we find it." "Even when that life was trying to destroy you?" Corks asked. "Especially then," Jake replied. "Hatred only creates more hatred. We choose to break that cycle." The communication system activated again. "Human representatives, this is High Counselor Vexthara. The entire galaxy has witnessed your actions today. You have proven beyond doubt that humanity deserves a place in the galactic community." "What about the Drachnary?" Jake asked. "General Corks," Vexthara said. "Do you still consider humans a threat?" There was a long pause. "No," Corks finally said. "Humans are not a threat. They are something rarer. They are protectors." Over the following months, the galaxy began to change. The humans shared their technology slowly and carefully, making sure each species could adapt safely. They helped cure diseases, solve resource problems, and end conflicts that had lasted for centuries. Jake found himself working with beings he had never imagined could exist. The Drachnary became humanity's strongest allies, their warrior culture, adapting to become protectors rather than conquerors. The Melody composed songs about the day humans saved their world. Even the ancient ethereals admitted that humanity had brought something new to the galaxy. Helen established the first interspecies council, where humans and aliens worked together to solve problems that affected everyone. The Council's first project was establishing colonies in the Andromeda Galaxy, using human technology to explore places no one had ever seen. "So what happens now?" Jake asked Helen as they stood in the new council chambers. "Now we build the future." Helen replied, "Humans and aliens working together. We have problems to solve, worlds to explore, and knowledge to share.